Welcome, boys. We are playing Skyblock. I never, ever have played Skyblock before, but I assume he just... Ooh, that was close. We just take the wood of this tree. And trees are actually the thing I wanted to talk about. Because you've seen Skyblock a bazillion times already. I'm assuming you clicked this video because you were expecting to see me yap about the importance of trees or something of that sort, but that's actually not what we are doing. So actually what we are going to talk about is trees in the world of J.R.R. Tolkien, because if you do not know, which you don't, I am a massive, and I mean massive, Tolkien nerd. Now I'm assuming we do this. That was easy. So I'm a massive Tolkien nerd, and I was like, how many tree stories do we have in Tolkien's world altogether? Because Tolkien was a bit of a tree lunatic, I'd call him. He loved trees, and he speaks about them in almost every single story. There are very little stories in which Tolkien does not mention a tree or something. Either he is describing them, or he just makes them the main character of the story. But yeah, we can begin with the very, very first trees, I assume. They're probably not the first trees. No, I'm very wrong. The first big tree story of Tolkien's world is Laurelin and Telperion, which is the great trees of Valinor. If you are a bit new to Silmarillion and the more complicated stories of Tolkien's world, then you may not be quite aware of what I'm talking about. Tolkienin about. But you'll catch on. Or don't. Maybe you are just not interested whatsoever, which is a big mistake. But I'll not judge you, not as yet, because I need views, you know? I must be a good person to get views. That's probably not true. Well, whatever. Okay. Well, in the beginning, you know, Eru Ilúvatar and the Ainur, they are singing a song and they create the world. But one thing that is not quite dealt with is the darkness. There is no light source whatsoever. No sun, no moon. Why? Who would create them? So they're not there yet. And it's like they don't care from the beginning. Then they make like two big lights in the early Arda, but yeah, it's nothing great. But whatever. And in comes the great bad boy, Morgoth, and he destroys the lights. So, long story short, there is no real light in the world whatsoever, and elves come. And the Valar need to give them a light source, because elves don't quite see everything in the darkness. Yes, they do see a lot. You just need light for life. So they're thinking about the best ways of giving light to the elves, I am going to plant my things now. Yeah, we're thinking of a way, and in comes Yavanna. I do not know if I pronounced that correctly. Doesn't need to be more than just 2 blocks. Yavanna comes in and she creates big, massive trees. One is called Laurelin and the other is called Telperion. And that's basically the creation of 2 of the most important trees in all of the history, in all of everything that's gonna be happening in the first and second age. And yeah, the trees, one is Laurelin, which is golden, one is Telperion, which is silver, and they are basically sources of light for the entire world, because they both have leaves from under the tree, under the leaves comes out light in basically the day, you could call it that way. Laurelin, the golden one, shines. In the night, Telperion shines. And the elves, they really love them. They're in Valinor, which is like heaven in the world. And they're enjoying the light of these trees and living happily ever after. Morgoth comes in and he is very, very jealous of everything, of the beauty, and he doesn't like beautiful things and he wants to destroy them, and he doesn't like the light. So he comes and he takes a big spider-ish thingy. It's not quite a spider, it's like a spider spirit called Ungoliant. She comes with Morgoth and they're like together and they hate the light, and they come and they suck up all the light from the trees and kill them, basically. And that's the big story of the trees of Valinor. It sounds very, very sad the way I said it, but that's basically it. So yeah, there is another thing that's important. Before the trees actually die, they lose all their light, but Yavanna and one more Valar, which I forgot her name, Nanya, I don't know her name, I forgot her name, whatever. So they kind of squeeze out a last-ditch effort from the trees, and the trees, both of them, create a fruit. One is silver from Telperion, obviously, and one is golden from Laurelin, the golden. And they get the creative idea of placing these fruits, these last descendants of the trees. They place them on the sky, basically. They take 2 of their slaves, not slaves, but it's Ainur, and they tell them to hold the fruit of Laurelin and Telperion in the sky. And now you may have figured out what happens. One of them is the sun, and one of them is the moon. Just as in the same way as the trees, one was shining in the day, Laurelin, the gold one. The same way the sun shines in the day, and as Telperion was shining in the night, basically, so does the moon shine in the night. So yeah, that's like the story of great trees, Laurelin and Telperion. There's another thing. While the trees were alive, Yavanna, she saw that the elves loved them, so she basically created a little inferior clone of the silver tree for the elves and gave it to them into their city. I forgot the name. It's probably, I don't know if it's Celeborn or if it's another tree. Why aren't my trees growing? I'm angry. Yavanna, she gives a fake, well, not fake, but like a smaller, less important tree to the elves, and it's less important, but it turns out that tree becomes very, very important in the future, because after those trees, Laurelin and Telperion are gone. This is basically the only memory except for the sun and the moon. But it's the only memory the elves have of the trees. Oh yeah, and the Silmarils that they can physically touch. The Silmarils are then lost. I will not say the entire story because you can read it. The tree, it has a sapling which they put into the Resea, which is still like not interesting. I think probably that one is called Celeborn. I'm not sure. Yeah, and then this tree in Toleresea, we'll call it Celeborn, has another sapling which is probably called Nimloth. And what is interesting about this one, when we time skip, we fast forward to 1, 2, 3. It should be okay. When we fast forward to Men of Numenor, Men of Numenor they're like men in the Second Age, that are descended from Arendil. Whatever. The Men of Numenor, they get Nimloth, which is descended. It's like the second generation from the fake Telperion. And this tree becomes very, very important. It's actually super hilarious that Tolkien had the time and the effort in his world to make a family tree of trees. A literal family tree of trees. Like you have Laurelin and Telperion up there, then you have the second generation, third, and spoiler alert, there's like 5 more generations, I think. Yeah. So the Men of Numenor, they gain this tree, and it becomes like a token of their kingdom, of the kings. While the tree lasts, basically the kingdom lasts. And that is true for this tree they get. And it stays with them for, I don't know how long it is. Numenor is like 2,000 years or more, 3,000. I don't know. And then big bad boy Sauron comes, and he similarly, the same way as his master Morgoth a long time ago, he doesn't like trees and he doesn't like nice things, so he decides to break it. He actually decides to break entire Numenor, which he succeeds in. He basically corrupts the king, makes him evil. Not evil, but yeah, evil. He makes him proud and wanting power. That's a nice story for another time. But one thing Ar-Pharazôn does under the influence of Sauron is he goes and he cuts the tree and destroys it. And that is the end of Nimloth, the beautiful tree. But actually it is not, because there is a dude called Isildur, who is a young part of the nobility, and he saves a sapling from this tree. Actually, a fruit, which he then turns into a sapling. Because that's how biology works. Stay in school, kids. And he goes and he leaves Numenor. He escapes because Numenor is destroyed, because the Valar are angry. So he leaves and he creates Gondor and Arnor. Not him, it's mostly Elendil. And his father Elendil, he rules, and they plant this tree in Minas Ithil, which in Lord of the Rings is Minas Morgul. And as I said, Minas Morgul, you know, Sauron has no chills at all. He wages war against men, and he gets to Minas Ithil and he wants to destroy Minas Ithil. He actually does destroy Minas Ithil. Not destroy, he corrupts it to his own will. And the tree in there is lost again. But guess who is back? Mr. Isildur himself comes with another game-changing point, and he saves another sapling from this tree. That is called... That tree does not have a name anymore. I think it is the first tree of Gondor. That's all that is said. So much for our cool name debates. That is, the one in Minas Ithil is the first tree of Gondor, which is destroyed when Minas Ithil is taken and changed to Minas Morgul. I am going to starve to death. I do not want to starve to death. I shouldn't be running around. Why aren't the stupid trees? Okay. So yeah, Isildur saves that tree again. And he plants it in Minas Anor in memory of his brother. Minas Anor, if you know the Lord of the Rings, is Minas Tirith. Changed the name as well. Don't quite remember when, so I will act like it never happened. He plants it in Minas Tirith, where it is a long time, till the Great Plague comes of Gondor, which is a story for another time. And then at that moment it just dies, but there's another sapling, so nobody cares, they just plant a new sapling. Then the third one lives for like a couple of thousand years, I think, whatever. But then the line of kings ends, and what is that? Or stewards of Gondor come in, and they stay for some time, but then the tree just dies, and there are no more trees, no more saplings, and all has ended. But people keep on saying that when another king comes, another tree will come. And that is true. In The Lord of the Rings, Mr. Aragorn becomes the king of Gondor again, and the line is made anew. There is actually a story, he doesn't know if he will be able to marry. Arwen, because she might leave. And while he doesn't know, there's actually no tree there is no tree to be found. He just cannot find the tree, and he feels like the line of kings is over forever, and he has failed to make it anew. But the truth is, Arwen comes, and Gandalf comes as well, and with the help of Gandalf, Aragorn finds a tree. It's in the mountains above Minas Tirith. There's like a hollow place where Isildur long ago, I think. Nah, it wasn't Isildur, probably. A different king long ago um, hid one sapling of the tree when the age of the kings ended for the new king that would come, and that's Aragorn. And when he finds this, even Arwen comes, and they marry, and he becomes the king. I almost just fell into the void. So yeah, that's the entire story of this line of trees. The tree stays there. We are getting mobs. Nope. It was funny to talk about in this video. As I said in the beginning of the video, Tolkien has a tree in basically every story he tells. So next time we can talk about Old Mr. Willow, or we can talk about forests overall, or we can talk about something absolutely new. Zombies. I'm so glad we just spawned zombies. We got food. Okay, we don't. Okay, thank you. We need to heal up, man. That's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you in another episode where we will talk about something very much as nerdy as today's topic was. Goodbye. Subscribe if you liked the video. Stay tuned, because this is going to get very, very fun. Or don't. Enjoy whatever you do. Bye. I must suffer breaking blocks forever. I'm enjoying this.